Hi. I was always talking about my previous work experience. I have mentioned that I worked in this place. I have updated it in LinkedIn. I never talked about it. Why did I? It's of course it's personal. You have no rights to ask someone about the profession or anything related to personal. But I just want to tell you that I just went to my office recently, a week ago, and I received the service certificate. I requested them to issue the certificate again after verifying with the records, and they issued it again. And I am here to tell you after 16 years, after 15 years, I'm telling you that after receiving this certificate, I'm so confident now because no one can deny the fact right now. No one can do it. That's why I was not even telling you about where I have worked. It's not going to give you any information. It's not the thing that is really needed. Is that necessary? But here I would like to tell you that now I got the certificate, and this one certificate is enough to talk about my whole alma mater as well as the work experience. I have studied MCA in Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal. I've been to Kodaikanal only once. There is a research and extension center is there in Chennai. And after passing out of MCA, after getting the degree in post-graduation, I went to Delhi for civil services examination preparation. Then I couldn't make it out in prelims, and I got dengue. I came back. It was not diagnosed in that place, but the fever was not reduced, and my friends suggested that it's better to go back to your place. So I have decided to get back to Tamil Nadu. And after the diagnosis, and I was bedridden for months. I couldn't completely come out of the effects of dengue. It took almost 3 to 4 months to come out of that illness. Then I got a job in Sutherland Global Services in Chennai. I'm revealing the fact now because I received a certificate recently, so I'm here to talk about it. This one certificate is enough to prove everything. And why should I have to prove it? I'm just simply telling you because you must understand the values as well as the experience, the work, whatever done so far, derived out of my education, my work experience. So after receiving the certificate, I am here to tell you that I worked in Sutherland Global Services in Chennai as a tech support executive. Then I have worked as an executive in quality assurance department. Then I quit because of the proposals, marriage proposals were going on, and I just wanted to take a break because it is not purely related to software. So I took the break. I was not well also. So I took the break for personal reasons. Then I have joined here in HP. HP means not a Hindustan Petroleum. HP means Hewlett Packard. That time it was labeled as HP GlobalSoft Pvt Ltd. It was located in Akash Block in GR Tech Park. Now the total atmosphere has been changed. After 10 years I went to the place. At first the office is relocated. Somewhere it has been shifted. In the GR Tech Park name itself is not there. And to my surprise, and I remembered only the exact location. But the whole name of the place has been changed. It was termed as Satwa and I couldn't see GR Tech Park. The name was not there. And to my surprise, the person said that the office was moved 5 years ago. And the whole area, if you talk about the Whitefield, there was nothing in 2010. It was deserted. It was having the deserted look. Nothing was there. And there were farms. The term itself, Hope Farm. The junction called as Hope Farm. Of course, there were farms, mango. There were so many farms, and the buildings were not there. Whatever is there right now, I'm getting into the place after 10 years. After 10 years, I could see the massive growth. I couldn't even identify anything. The same thing applied to the place called as Electronic City. I've been to that place in order to get my offer letter because the headquarters is located in Electronic City. But I couldn't identify the office. The names were changed, but the location is same. I was very sure about it, and I was putting it in Google and it was showing the place. That's from my experience. I've been to that place only once in order to get the offer letter. But I couldn't see that office. It was showing something else. The location is directing me to some other, building. And the name itself has been, they got the new name, and the office location is also new. I was so stumbled upon the things after realizing the fact that I'm standing in that place after 16 years. I went to that place in March 2010. Now I'm not surprised about the growth, but you could see the it's not a drastic change, substantial growth, but yet you could see the whole things were changed about the transportation or the when you talk about the buildings, it's all mushroomed slowly. And when I went there, I couldn't even identify the same office because I'm there. I was there after 15 years. Solid, if you talk about it, solid 16 years gone. 16 years. March 2010 to March 2026. When you calculate the period, I was there after 16 years. I couldn't get it. What's going on? And fortunately, I already, when I was buying the the printer from HP. I came to know that the logo, the brand name, they mentioned it as HPE. I was not taking a note of it. Somehow I have located my office and I passed the information to the respective team. And I received the certificate via email. Even I requested them that I can meet you in person. You can check the knowledge of what I have gained out of that particular concern. Because it's not a joke. There were managers, team leaders, about SMEs, and we were not the only people at the time. I mean, when they recruiting me, I was not the only person for that particular process. I was not the only person selected for that particular process. There were so many, and almost 50 to 100. They recruited almost 50, as of my knowledge, at once. 50 to 100, and the training was on, but all happened in GR Tech Park. We just received the offer letter from the head office in Electronic City. So I couldn't find out at the place. The names were changed, and even the Hewlett Packard got the new name, Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And they are still selling the products under the same brand logo, under the same name, HP. Because when I bought the printer, the logo was there, the same logo. But the concern name was changed. I noticed it. But I thought that they may keep the same logo. So I was searching for the same, with the same mindset, because the avenue itself called as HP Avenue. So I was hoping for the same. But it was my stupidity, of course. Because I noticed that, when I bought the printer, the concern name itself changed into something else. And I was hoping for the same name, but it was not there. Within 15 years, I didn't even revise anything. But it doesn't mean that I lost all the knowledge, whatever gained out of Sutherland as well as from HP. I'm telling you about all the places now because I recently received the service certificate from the respective team from Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And if you ask me about what did you do for the past 15 years, I told you about it. And I was not interested to continue the same thing after my marriage because it was already late. So I wanted to concentrate on expanding the family. But it was not happened as the way I have expected. Alright then, that is again, it's quite personal. And I've joined an NFT. I can tell you right now because after 1 year library membership, I renewed it again. So I'm telling you here, I passed out of NFT, the Great National Institute of Fashion and Technology in HSR layout. It's a very nice place. Of course, you can get everything. and I failed to concentrate on one thing that, you know, that's related to the garment construction. That is the most important part of any designing. You can sketch, you can even make the patterns, but if you are not able to stitch those things as the way you have patterned out, then what is the use? It's not their fault, but I received this certificate after 1 year, and it's the crash course. So all the basic things, all the basic ideas about the garment construction taught by the instructors over there. I couldn't get it because I was concentrating more on textiles. I was very much interested in printing, in weaving, and related to all sort of textile related technologies, as well as something called as embroidery. You can incorporate embroidery in any garment. You know about it, how it's gonna make that garment, how it's going to add the value. It will be quite aesthetic. It's related to hand embroidery or machine embroidery. It's having its own beauty. You can easily make it out. When you talk about embroidery, at first many states having its own style, idea about embroidery, because in those days at home all the ladies were doing some sort of crafts. So embroidery was one of the hobby or craft followed by the women in our country. I mean, they were doing it for centuries. And you must understand one thing, the embroidery is going to differ from place to place. Every state is having its own style. And you must know one thing about it. I got this idea after passing out of NIFT, because I went to many places in order to get the idea about incorporating embroidery printing in my designs. And I met a lot of artisans, a lot of craftspeople, and on the journey I came to know that it is not simply related to hobbies. It's not simply related to some sort of work that's related to that particular area. It's having its own geographical reason. When you talk about Punjab, the embroidery work named as fulkari. Full means flower, kari means work. Fulkari means the floral work, floral embroidery. You could see the patterns, beautiful patterns, and it is closely knitted. But in South India, it's not. In Karnataka, the Kasuti embroidery is there, but it's not having the very close structure. I mean, it's geometrical, it's quite different, but when you talk about the embroidery of Punjab, Kashmir, and the embroideries related to the cold regions, it's quite different. The cold regions embroidery work is very different than the tropical region embroidery work. Did you ever think of it? At first in South India, there were no glittery embroidery work done on blouses. It's not at all easy to wear that sort of garment at first. With a heavy embroidery in tropical places, you cannot wear the fabric with heavy embroidery. It's not at all possible. You're sweating. Even if you are in a place with centralized AC, it's going to create the great discomfort. And for the children, you can't even imagine that. That is related to the places Punjab, Kashmir, and Delhi. There they can wear that because the temperature at the winter time it will be very cold. So the very close knitted embroidery, when you talk about the embroidery of Kashmir, Jamawar shawls are very famous. And when you talk about the Punjab region, the Fulkari work and the embroidery is related to the region because they use the woolen threads. That's going to give the warm feeling. If they create those things out of the real woolen threads, of course, they are doing it, but no one is able to afford that sort of beautiful craft work. Every place is having its own unique idea about the textiles because that is again related to the geographical factors, about the climate, about the condition of the weather over there. And we cannot wear that sort of heavy embroidered shawls. In Bangalore, we can sample it in monsoon time as well as in winters. But yet, those things are related to cold regions. It's Punjab, Kashmir, Delhi. They experience the very cold climate at the time of winters. And when you talk about the embroidery of that region, you could easily make it out. It is closely knitted, heavy. The work is quite heavy. And it is not, when you talk about any embroidery, it is so thick. And the thread work is quite thick and it is closely knitted. And when you talk about the heavy works like Zardosi, and there are so many types in that, Magamari, they have a lot of names. But you must understand one thing, that the people came from Middle East. They introduced those things at the time of Mughals. They were able to wear those things with the real gold zari. It's not going to fade out. Whatever they used, the chamkis or the zari, it's all gold. So it's going to stand out. And it's going to be, they say bespoke. That sort of dress is called as the design, or the suit will be called as bespoke. Because of this reason, all the threads, zari, it's all related to gold. But we don't get those things, we can't even afford, we can't even imagine those things. That's all related to the kings, the kingdom, when the great palace people used those things. Now it's all coming out of brass. It's all related to brass or some cheap metals. and it will tarnish very soon. Even if you pay, they are doing the same sort of work, but with the brass or something, some other metals will not give you the same look, and it will tarnish very soon. If you are paying 6,000, 7,000, after few months the work will not be there. I mean, the glossy, glittery, beautiful thing will not be there. It will be tarnished. But yet we are all interested to try those things, and I came to know about this fact after reading a lot of books. After gaining the knowledge out of NFT, I came to know that there are people doing the work with the simple cotton threads. That is also going to add a lot of value. It's not just related to the gold and zari work. Even the normal silk or normal thread, the cotton thread will do the magic. They are doing it in Gujarat, in Bhuj. There are so many artisans. Each and every community has its own idea of embroidery. According to the community, it varies. So the people related to agriculture, they do some sort of work. They say ahir. Ahir means a farmer. So ahir, and it all, when you talk about the work, it is divided according to the community. There is something called soof embroidery. Soof. It's a beautiful work. I wanted to learn this one when I was in Kala Raksha. I wanted to learn this embroidery. Kala Raksha people are doing this work. This is the hand embroidery. Can you believe? Can you believe this? This one. It's so geometrical. It's quite geometrical, and it's the hand embroidery. It's not the machine one. They count the thread and they make this one. So I do have the embroidery many varieties of embroidery. I bought many shawls and fabrics with this particular features. There are so many. When you talk about a region wise, every region has its own style. Weaving is also going to differ from state to state. Every state has its own style. And it is always related to some geographical factors. Whether it is when you talk about a human geography or a geopolitics, if it is related to geopolitics, then that is related to the war or invasion, something like that. And sometimes related to the weather, climate, and also the availability of the materials. So many things influenced by many factors. So when you talk about textiles, it's a very vast subject. I was always concentrating on those things because it is giving a lot of scope. When I went to Rajasthan, I met a lot of people. I went to Bagru, I met Mr. Vijender Singh to learn this particular technique called resist and die. That is the technique of Bagru. The place is close to Jaipur, Rajasthan, and the whole community is doing it. I already talked about it. They are doing very nice prints, and they choose indigo, and almost all the prints are dyed in the indigo dyes. That's having amazing fragrance. After many washes also you could smell indigo. It's, of course, it's gonna bleed because it's the natural product, and when you use any natural organic dye related product, you must wash it by using your hands. Hand wash is required. You cannot soak it for hours. You cannot simply put it in your washing machine with other clothes. It's not advisable. It's gonna create a very nice, whenever you try to wear this indigo dyed, or there are so many dyes available, but very much fond of indigo as well as kalamkari. The fabric is still, having the very nice, fragrance. Every time it bleeds, of course, because it's quite natural. The fabric itself is cotton, and whatever is there on top, the print used, they used a lot of organic compounds. So each and every state has its own idea, and when you talk about the work, it's all related to the history, influenced by so and so people from Middle East. So everywhere you could see the work, and you can easily identify the place as well as the idea behind it. I came to know that why do they choose this heavy embroidery? Why the pattern is closely knitted? It's because it's, when it is quite heavy on your chest, it's gonna give the warm feeling. It's going to create the warm feeling. Of course, the warmth, the protection from the weather will be there. It's the great idea. Our ancestors are very intelligent. They had a lot of ideas than us. They did everything, when you talk about it, the textiles, when you talk about it, the style of garment, how they own the dresses, the attire. When you talk about the attire, it's all related to the climate. You cannot completely cover your body when the sun is quite hot. When it is quite sunny, you cannot even imagine the person to wear the whole full formal shirt with formal pants. You can't expect the people to wear something as such. That's why the dhoti is very popular. Why they are still following? Because of that reason too. It's not advisable. Dhoti is advisable. The formal pants and shirts in the sunny weather is not advisable. If you are working in a place where the centralized AC is there, then you can choose that one. But when you come out, you could feel the heat that's gonna squeeze you down. They are quite intelligent. Our ancestors did everything with a reason. They constructed the houses according to the climate. Everything is related to geography. I came back to the same factor again because I was intended to learn the embroideries because I just wanted to incorporate those things in the designs. But my interest was always related to textiles, printing, and yeah, I lost the touch of constructing the garment. The garment construction was not there. So I tried my best to learn the same thing from different institutions, but I couldn't get it. And my focus was always related to textiles, weaving, something related to the fabric. That is going to play a vital role. Uh, the construction is something different. It's all about the fabric, the texture, the feel, the warmth. When you wear something, you must feel comfortable. That is the first preference. For me, that is the first preference. It should be comfortable. I don't want any gaudy or any sort of flashy embroidery or anything that's gonna hurt my skin. That's my first point. And where am I? That is also a question. In the very tropical place, having a lot of humidity and sunny weather, I don't prefer to wear something as such with a lot of embroideries, with a lot of gaudy work and all. So I was searching for the best because you know about the dry land of Bhuj. Of course, it is dry. It's too dry, but people are able to do their best out of that particular place. They are working very hard, and you could see even in the dry place, you could see a lot of vegetation as well as when you talk about the flora and fauna, flora is not very we cannot witness flora, but fauna, of course, it's there. Nilgai is there, and there were many different species. I came across many different endangered species while I was traveling in and around the Bhuj. I noticed a nilgai everywhere, and it's a nice experience. People were able to work hard, and vegetation is possible because of the hard work. And the cotton where they, the cotton is growing over there named as Kala cotton. And also they used camel wool. They are able to do so many things, and each and every community having the idea about the embroidery. And before the wedding, the bride should make her own design. The dress, the bridal dress, should be decided by the bride, and the bride is having the responsibility to make that dress. The embroidery work, everything should be decided and done by the bride herself. So it's a great thing to learn so many. The journey was great. When you talk about my journey, what did you do? For you, it's nothing. For me, it was so great because you have no idea about what I've been through. I've been to many places. It's there. The evidence is there. It's quite evident in TripAdvisor. I have shared my inputs over there. And when you talk about the journey, I'm talking about everything: career, personal, professional as well as personal journey, where I came across many things. I met beautiful people, and I'm proud of being an Indian for one reason. All the mothers of India, when you talk about the mother, the role as well as the affection in the field is same. Wherever I go, I'm so confident to continue my journey because of this reason. They are very protective, they are very affectionate, compassionate, having the care and concern. They are able to guide. You can ask a question: how could you go to some place where you have no idea about their language? Hindi is quite common, Rashtra Bhasha. So you don't have to bother about it, and they are able to speak well in that particular language. If at all, if you have any idea about the particular vernacular language, it's okay. You can manage, and you can talk to excuse me, talk to the people with the so-called Rashtra Bhasha. Alright then, I'll be back with more information. Till then, take care. Bye bye.